when he said, "Woo, Sterling in the house," so we sat at the table together, and I heard him say his name was Peter Ray. So I looked over there. I was like, "Oh, okay, you Peter Ray, right?" And I went on. I didn't bother about it. He came to class sometime. You know how they go with football players, right? So he came to class sometime, and to make a long story short, this is my version. Yeah, he made an A in the class. Yeah, everybody else had to get theirs. So I had a daughter. Got pregnant early as a teenager, and my mama didn't play that. She said, "You did it, you gonna have it."
Yeah.
So I thank God for that, because I do come from a real family that knows God, loves God, and they're very spiritual, as far as, and so I thank God for that. So I already knew that wasn't going to happen. But had a daughter at the age of 16. One of my best friends, which was my daughter's godmother, played a very big role in our life at that time, being that the father of my child decided he didn't want to be the father. So like Rita is, and how her mother taught her, she just went on, okay, whatever, and I kept it going. And so I was at my girlfriend's house that day, and Peter's best friend, Earl Kelly, came over. He was dating my girlfriend, and so Peter dropped Earl Kelly off. I guess it seemed like on a regular basis, but this particular day, he decided he was going to get out the car. Okay, and so he says it was for the baby. Toya was there, of course. He said he came in to see the baby. He thought the baby was really cute, really little pretty baby. That's what he said. So I said, okay, no problem. And that was good for me, because the way I was, being a teenager, I was very protective of my child. My mama used to tell me, I done had 4 of these. I know what I'm doing, that kind of stuff. So, not just with my mom, but anybody that I didn't date many guys after I had my child, because it was kind of like one of those things where you had learned your lesson. That was going to be it, So, had kicked a couple of them to the curb if they looked at her wrong, if she moved and they said something, So it was, and God knew what he was doing, because with Peter, he was very different. I watched how he dealt with his nephews and things like that. He had one particular nephew that he had a lot. His name was Jonathan. And we used to, his sister used to rent a car, and he would come over, and we would just hang out the whole weekend, Jonathan and Toya and me and Peter. So that was a real big deal for me, that Peter was, that he loved my daughter. Sometimes he said he loved her before he loved me, and that was okay with me. So I just felt like that was a real big thing in our relationship. So to make a long story short, we started dating, and and a lot of us, we did not have what you would call a real role model in our parents, right? A lot of the things that Pete and I learned wasn't necessarily from our parents. Our parents did the best that they knew how to do. And they did a good job. So if they had not, we wouldn't be here today. So for what they did, we thank God for them. And we thank God for what they knew and what they gave us, which made us keep going. So I just want to make sure that, my mom being here, know that I appreciate, what she did, and also Peter's parents. And you'll hear some more of that. But anyway, as our relationship went on, I'll go on to say that even when Peter and I broke up, my husband, well, he's my husband now, but even when we broke up, he would still come and get my daughter. Like if he said he was doing something with her on the weekend, it didn't matter that I had started dating somebody else. He would walk right on in, grab Toya's diaper bag, grab Toya, and walk on the door, and walk on out the door like he never even saw the guy sitting there. Wow. So that said a lot to me. Yeah. That meant a lot to me because for me it was, even though I was, we had decided we were going to break up or whatever, he still was showing me. God knew that I needed to see that. So he would come and get Toya, and he would leave, and whatever he had to do, Christmas time, if we wasn't together, he still took care of Toya. And so that was big for me. So I thank God for that. Well, anyway, we got married eventually, and we did. We lived together a year. My mama kept saying, you know, God ain't gonna bless that. God ain't gonna bless that. I said, I know, Mama, I know. You know, so, and it was true. You know, it wasn't that we didn't hear her. My older sister, first my middle sister got married, then my older sister got married year after year. So at my second sister's wedding, I told him, I said, you need to make a decision. So at the wedding, I said, you have 1 year to decide whether we're going to be together or not. And if not, you need to go your way and I'll go my way. And so a year later, we were married.
Wasting my time. Get it, girl.
I didn't think I was going to get a chance to say that.
Let me get close to you.
I love you. But like she say, you know, our upbringing was different. That she had a spiritual upbringing, she had a godly upbringing, which I didn't have in my home. But what I had was my father was a provider. Yeah. I mean, he taught me how to be a man, how to provide, how to take care of the family, no matter what the circumstances were in the home. He always made provision for us at our home. So that was one of the reasons why I was able to do what I was able to do concerning Toya, because even though she wasn't my biological, when I went into the relationship, I went into it with the understanding that it was a package deal.
Yeah. Right.
So she wouldn't have it no other way, you know. And at that particular time, but I really wasn't planning on staying, you know, when I went into the relationship. I wasn't planning, that was my mentality at the time. And that was one of the signature through my family of manhood. You know, it wasn't about, once the marriage was marriage, then it was committed to the marriage. It was then, but before the marriage, it was, you know, just, you know, you did how many of them you wanted, how many of them you could, you know, that was a part of getting a signature, A-OK, you know, look at Peter, look at Raw, look at Greg, you know, all our cousins, you know, that was the manly thing, to have as many women as you could, you know. So that's what it was all about at that particular time. But when we got into the relationship, it was different than any female that I really had been with. You know, it wasn't that I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do in the time that I wanted to do it in. So I had to stick around a little longer.
Go on, girl. That's right. Whole lot.
And she was one of the pretty girls. One thing we knew about her and her sister, they were church girls. We knew that. There was a couple of more people at the school, and we knew them was church girls. So we knew that already, you know. So, but at that particular time, you know, and the guy saying, "Man, you're not gonna do nothing like that. You know, you're wasting your time, this and that." And then when I got there, and then I said I couldn't, but I was determined to see what this was all about, because I really had never been with a female that was like that, you know, that was like that, you know. But she what I seen her is what I seen in my mom. I mean, she really was, as far as her kids was concerned, as far as Toya was concerned. I mean, she loved her, and she made sure she was well taken care of. Didn't have a lot of money. Didn't have a lot of, but one thing I found when I got to the house, I found love.
Yes.
Amen. I mean, that's one thing they had. And the house they stayed in was a little bitty house, was regulated, and then when you got
Somebody ask him that. That's it. That's right. Very
clean. Different experience. And I grew up in a home. We had a 2-story house, and you know, so I kind of grew up in a pretty much, you know, we kind of had everything we wanted, you know, pretty much didn't want for anything, you know. So I really had seen that side of life, you know. So when I did see it, it was kind of like a culture shock to my parents that I was really just gravitated to someone of that nature. So that was the thing that I had to deal with also at the time, you know, because I'd been with a female for a pretty good while, been off and on with her, you know. That was supposed to be the one, you know.
That's what you thought.
It didn't quite work out like that. But one thing about you, like I say, was, you know, I was know how to provide, but one thing I didn't learn, and I didn't know how to nurture a woman.
Yeah.
And that was a big issue, you know. I really know how to nurture a woman. You know, I knew how to provide for her, and I know how to do those things, but nurturing was as we went on in marriage, that began to be a problem. That began to be a problem because I continued to live a lifestyle of a single person. But I decided to get married. So that was you know, and I thought it was like, man, got all the rent is paid, the car note is paid, these things, all those things are being taken care of. The kids got nice clothes. The kids, you know, that's, but it was the nurturing part that I hadn't learned how to do it. And as we got on in our marriage, it really became to be a problem. Then when I decided I wanted to nurture.
That's all right. That's all right. It's okay.
Amen.
I didn't know how.
It's okay.
Okay. I do want to say this. When Pete and I first started dating, I did make him wait. You know, even though I had a daughter, I had determined that I wasn't going to do the same thing over again. And so I did make him wait. And I made him wait for a while. And, you know, and we got married. So to make a long story short, as we started getting, after we got married, I started noticing just certain things that were going on. And Peter did, he smoked weed, and he would drink beer. He wasn't a big drinker, but he did smoke weed. And so he would come home and he would have his joint, he'd be watching his game, you know, and I would, y'all know those glasses that we used to get from Red Lobster? They would give you the glass after you get through eating. Y'all remember that? The lighthouses, yeah. So I would put those in the freezer for him. I would freeze it, I would frost it up real good, and then when he'd come home from work, I'd pour that beer in there, and I'd have it all ready for him when he got home. Yeah. So, you know, and some of the things that, you know, you look back now and you accept those things because that's what was going on. You know, and you seen that around you, and I thought, well, you know, he at home. It's not like he's, you know, going out and doing, you know, he's doing this in his home and things like that. I never was a drinker and I never was a smoker. And I would do it every once in a while, but, ooh, I hated that stuff. One day, I had smoked the joint. And I dropped my baby. I looked at Peter. Yes, I did, Kiasha. So y'all just all right, no, I'm just kidding. But, and that was my way out, you know, and I said that in a joking way. But what happened was, after I did that, that was my way out. To say to him, don't ask me to do that again. You know, because we accept things because we want to be accepted by our spouse. We want to, you know, we want to do what they're doing, even if it's not comfortable to us. And we've been taught, you know, just to go ahead and please them, you know, rather than say, this is not comfortable for me, and just not do it. So anyway, Peter continued, again, like he said, doing the things that he was doing. You know, and again, not just doing drugs, because he hadn't gotten into the other stuff, but the adultery was the big thing. Yeah. And I could remember one time my brother came over to my apartment, and
that's okay. That's okay.
He wanted to protect his little sister. So he came over and he told me what had happened, that my husband had almost gotten killed. Messing with another woman, which was the lady had a boyfriend or whatever, and Peter was married at that time. You know, so that kind of stuff went on, and I was just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And so I decided that I was going to leave. And I thought maybe another scenery, you know, get from where we were, go to another place, and start over again. And so we did. We moved from what they call South Park Village at that time, and we moved over to the southwest side, where the company I was working for at the time was Travelers, which they turned into United Healthcare. But we moved and went to a different place. And when we got there, it seems like things were better, but not really. We just changed scenery, but